The Samsung Galaxy Note 10 is finally official and there are now two devices in the series, the regular Galaxy Note 10 and the bigger Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I've managed to spend a brief time with both devices and here is my hands-on of the two devices. Let's start with the higher-end Galaxy Note 10 Plus. It comes with a 6.8-inch 1440p display, an Exynos 9825 7nm chip, 12 gigs of RAM, as well as a generous 4300 mAh battery. As for the smaller Galaxy Note 10, it comes with a 6.3-inch 1080p display, the very same processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and a smaller 3500 mAh battery. Now, let's get back to the Note 10 Plus. Despite the fact that it has a huge 6.8-inch display, it's actually about the same size as its predecessor, the Galaxy Note 9, which had a 6.4-inch display. Samsung managed to fit a bigger display into the Note 10 Plus thanks to the almost bezel-less Infinity O display. See, even though we have a lot of smartphones with no notches or no hole punch cutouts, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is arguably the most handsome device in my opinion. Yes, there is a small camera cutout at the top of the display in the middle, but there is barely any top or bottom bezel on this phone, giving it a very true all-screen design. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter if you don't have a notch or a hole punch cutout if you have big chins or foreheads. Yeah. Speaking of which, the display quality on both phones are fantastic. Obviously, the Note 10 Plus has the more impressive display because it's a 1440p panel, but even then, the Note 10 still has a very good display. Unless you're comparing it side by side, you really can't tell that the Note 10 has a lower end display just because it's a 1080p panel. Even though the Note 10 has a less pixel-dense display, it is still a dynamic AMOLED screen. It supports HDR10+, so you're gonna get a very wide color gamut. Colors simply pop on this display, you get pitch blacks, and viewing angles are unsurprisingly fantastic too. When it comes to performance, the Galaxy Note 10 phones should be as fast as the Galaxy S10. See, even though the Note 10 series has a newer 9825 processor, it's actually very similar to the Exynos 9820 chipset found in the S10. The only difference is the fact that it's built on a more power-efficient 7nm process, so you should expect better battery life on these two smartphones. Besides that, we also have a new S Pen with the Note 10 series. Of course, it still has Bluetooth connectivity which allows you to use it as a remote control. But what is new is the addition of a gyroscope and an accelerometer in the S Pen. This allows you to use it as a magic wand, if you will. All you have to do is press on the S Pen's button, perform a gesture, either a left swipe, up swipe, anything like that, and then let go of the button, and then the phone will recognize whatever action that is supported. At its current state, I'm inclined to call it a little bit gimmicky, but who knows, maybe there are more interesting applications further down the road. So far, the Galaxy Note 10 is pretty impressive, but there is one design element that I'm not quite fond of. You see, for some reason, Samsung decided to put all of the buttons on the phone on the left side of the device. So there are no buttons on the right, and if you're right-handed, you're gonna have to perform some finger gymnastics to reach for the power button on the left side of the phone. That being said, this button arrangement does make sense for the Note 10. Say again you are right-handed and you're going to take a note with the S Pen. You'll obviously hold it on your right hand and the phone will be on your left hand. And in that orientation, your thumb is already close to the power button. While I understand why Samsung is going with this odd button arrangement, that doesn't mean I have to like it. In the camera department, the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus have the same triple camera system. It has a 12MP primary shooter, a 12MP telephoto lens, and a 16MP wide-angle shooter. However, the Note 10 Plus does add a time-of-flight sensor, which gives it better depth perception among other things. Interestingly, you can use it as a 3D scanner, so you can scan an object and then print it with a 3D printer if you want to. Is it a groundbreaking feature? Not quite, but it does open up interesting possibilities. Okay, back to the camera performance. As a whole, it feels like I'm shooting with the Galaxy S10 Plus on these two phones, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The camera interface is responsive, you get good detail preservation, dynamic range, as well as a very fast autofocus system. There's no doubt that this is a good camera system, but I can't help but to feel like I want something more. See, in a smartphone landscape where smartphones like the Huawei P30 Pro exist with its fantastic zooming capability, the Note 10's camera system just doesn't feel particularly exciting anymore. The Galaxy Note 10 is only available in one variant, which is the 256GB model, and that goes for 3,699 ringgit. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus, on the other hand, is available in two configurations, 256GB as well as 512GB. These two models retail at 4,199 and 4,799 respectively. Without a doubt, these are very high price tags, but the phones could very well justify its price tag. That is a question that can only be answered in a full review of these two smartphones. If you're keen to get either one of the Galaxy Note 10 smartphones, it is available for pre-order right now in Malaysia until 18 August. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to us if you haven't already, and always stay tuned for more good stuff to come here at NextRiff and nextriff.com.